Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setup for today. So as usual, starting off on Euro USD, and we have woken up this morning to a little bit of a meltdown, but the meltdown did start on Friday. So we had that range break, and I would assume that target is met, but we'll have a look at that on the hour. So there's a bit of political noise going on at the moment. We are at structure. There's my structure right there. Don't think there's much else. Yep, more structure there. Okay, so that's a fairly decent area to be paying attention to. And the noise in the USA is really just politicians arguing over spending money. And the irony is that it's spending money that's going to impact sort of the lower to middle class people and tax the rich. So well, I'm not going to say anything more on that. But anyway. So at the moment we've had a fairly decent range break. The trend is down on the hour, so it was actually not a range break, a channel break, and that measured move is more than likely done by the looks of things. So that was the first leg down. There was the pullback, and yeah, we are finished with that move. So the next logical thing to do is wait for a pullback. Looking like some dollar strength here at the moment, but you don't want to be jumping in short here. And definitely don't want to be long at the moment because we are below the moving averages. There is an indication that we should be looking at the level. So remember, when you're below the moving averages, your longs are scalps. You should be looking for opportunity to sell. And the closest opportunity is going to be at 117.528. So I think I'll sit and wait for this one. Not really interested in taking a long right now. That's against the current trend. So we'll wait for it to come back, and then we will take the short from there. US dollar, Japanese yen, we're still stuck in this range, and look, we're right back at the moving averages on the 8 hour. This pair I am staying far away from, not interested in it at all. So you can see Thursday was a bit of a sort of move to the upside. We consolidated Friday going nowhere, and basically the same thing happening at the moment. So I'm not interested in this, not until we break, and I mean I'll show you this on a 3 hour. Yeah, not until we break that range. So it is a range on all the higher time frames, so from 1 hour up, and I have no interest in trading ranges. Anyway, moving on to British pound, Japanese yen. So similar scenario here. The pound is getting a bit of a hiding here, and does it look like we sort of rejected that all these moving averages on Friday? So that is a fairly interesting signal because it gives us potentially the opportunity for a trend reversal, and the trend was originally up. It was quite a lengthy uptrend, and now we're all over the place and moving to the downside. So in the UK there's lots of noise around Brexit at the moment. So obviously Brexit has passed, and now they're living with the repercussions of their decision, and some areas it's not pretty, some areas it's good. So that's pretty much what's going on here. And if we look at the hour, you'll see a clear trend. It wasn't actually not that clear. So we were flirting with this 155 on Friday before dropping through it. Didn't really come back to test it. So we have broken through the structure I gave you on Friday, which is 158.65. So I would like to see what transpires at this area. So probably worth getting down to a 15-minute chart and seeing what happens there. But bear in mind that there is a closer one here, which is up here. So that's 151.078. So any pullback back into that zone is a potential for a move to the downside. And what I would do on this pair particularly is firstly London breakout strategy, and then let's just use this block here. So I would wait for structure, and when I talk about structure, let's assume at the start of the day was a structure. So I'm looking for some kind of a move up to this level. So if I just do that, that's the top of my structure, that's the bottom of my structure. So easy to have a limit order below here. If I break below this, we'll stop just above there. So what that does for you is it gives you so that's a 130 point stop. Whereas in the higher time frames, you're going to be, sort of doing 500 point stops. So get on the 15-minute, look for the level, put your levels in on the higher time frames, and then any bit of structure you see off those levels, and that was a bit of a range, And you can see if we break the upside, obviously more, look for the next structure in the downtrend, but there wasn't. Basically a limit order there with a stop there. And you're only looking to trade with the trend, and the trend is down. Okay, so that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. So if you see some sort of pullback on structure, go down to lower time frames, your trend is down, and see what transpires there. Euro British Pound is our last pair, and we are sideways. Look at the 8 hour. The whole of last week was sideways. We're still flirting with these moving averages. You can see we tried 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 2.5 weeks basically. No, let's just call it 3 weeks. It's half a week here, half a week there. So 3 weeks we were above the moving averages, and we were looking like it was going to continue. Then we basically broke below it, and we're now below the moving averages again. So above the moving averages, below the moving averages, there's a range, and you can see the chaos in the price action here, barbed wire. Nothing that I want to be trading right now. Does look like it's rejecting this area, which would mean that the bigger downtrend is going to continue. But when you look at the hour, you can see we're still very much in amongst these moving averages, with a potential inverse head and shoulders brewing as well. So this pair, I'm kind of just going to wait and see what transpires. We've got a weak euro against the dollar, and then you've got a weak pound against the yen. But against each other, euro pound is pretty much all over the place. So until we break structure properly, I'm not interested in this. So either breaking 0.85 500 to the upside, or alternatively 0.85 120 to the downside. That is the only opportunities I see. I'm not interested in jumping into this while it's in this range. Anyway, that's it for me on Forex this morning. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.